Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I've gathered here many of my favorite YouTuber friends, those being Zach's Tech Turf, OztalksHW, the Toasty Bros, and Tech by Matt. And we are here to answer your questions here at CES 2020. So we'll actually be answering your questions from Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube community post. And so the first question that actually we got from a fellow YouTuber, Nerd on a Budget, asked, who were each of you the most starstruck to see at CES this year? And actually, I like to go first because actually I had a really weird encounter with MKBHD at the LG booth. So there's actually some VIP tours that go along throughout the booth, and there's like a line. It's like a conga line of people just going through, and we were just seeing this line of people go through, and then all of a sudden you see MKBHD, who's kind of tall and just looks a little bit out of place, and we're like, oh, there he goes, and he has like headphones in him because it's like the VIP tour, and so he's just going absolutely ignorant of like anything that's going on around him. Nice. And we're like, oh, that's MKBHD. So that was my experience. How about you guys? Have you seen anybody cool?
I'll go.
All right.
So I feel like I've seen a number of people that I was like starstruck by, but the one person that I talked to was John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. Ozzy, Zach, and I all talked to him. He was super cool. And yeah, that's mine.
I never got to meet her, but on the way to a Corsair dinner, we saw Sarah Dici pass by, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Sarah Dici. And that was it. Like, I didn't say anything.
Nice work. I was pretty starstruck by somebody that none of you guys probably know.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Corey Banks, and he works for NVIDIA, but more importantly, he has a podcast called Gamers with Jobs, and it's like a bunch of adults talking about games and whatnot, and he was more surprised than anything that I recognized him, because like he's there for NVIDIA. He had no idea that like a fan would come up to him, and then he was working with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped to see him.
You don't see his face because it's
No, not at all.
So he was like very.
Yeah, and he's like, you made my CES. Like, I don't think anybody came up to him, but.
So I'm gonna be honest, I think the coolest people we've met are all these guys here, bumping into them at CES. Other than that, we didn't see anyone.
Yeah, we ran into Paul's Hardware at one suite, but that's pretty much it. There isn't anything super crazy, but yeah, these guys right here.
Round of applause.
So we have another question. So we actually have another question from Chris, who was another friend of ours in the Tech Fam from Coalition Gaming, and he asked, what is your favorite movie trilogy? I will not go first, actually.
I'll go.
Sweet.
The Matrix.
Lord of the Rings.
This is not a trilogy at all. So, I like The Incredibles. It has 2 movies, so maybe the 3rd will come out.
Oh my. I'm the farthest thing from like a movie guy.
Yeah.
Can I say Fast and Furious without getting trolled?
The old ones, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. The first 3. Well, actually, nah. Go ahead.
I don't even know if we can agree on something. I would say Star Wars.
The original Star Wars trilogy,
yeah.
the original one.
Yeah.
That's
Star
an
Wars
easy
is
answer,
definitely
isn't
up
it?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Okay, cool. So actually now we've finally gotten some questions from our Twitter, which is great because we were waiting for some. And Jason, which is at GinoJasonA, asked, what tech do you want that you don't already own? What do you think? I will go first, actually. So here at CES, there's a camera that I want really badly now because I found out it has a Canon mount for lenses, and it's the Blackmagic Pocket 6K.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say.
Okay, that camera looks dope. It is $2,500, which sounds expensive, but it shoots at 6K, and you can compare it to the Panasonic S1H, which was my original choice for a new camera upgrade. But that's $4,000, and I don't want that. That's way too damn expensive, especially to get more lenses. So that Blackmagic Pocket 6K looks really appealing now. So that is a tech that I kind of want, but I don't own right now.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go for
So
it.
I was literally going to say the exact same thing, but it's just because I'm lazy and half my B-roll is just keyframes of like zooming out and like digital pans and tilts. So having 6K would allow me to zoom in so far and do so much more.
I don't know. I would say I really want to get into streaming, so I would say maybe like a webcam and another monitor. I mean, nothing like too crazy.
So I would probably go with a 8K TV, only because I am still rocking a 1080p TV at home, which is super embarrassing.
I can add on.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd take a 4K TV at this point, but.
Yeah, I'm still rocking a 1080p TV. I would love a 4K TV. I feel like during Black Friday, I was so close to getting a couple of them because like they're so cheap. But like I still just haven't. Yeah, I need a couple.
Wow.
It's replacing all the 1080p TVs. But like they're just so cheap now, and I was like, there's no reason not to at this point.
So we finally have some questions from Instagram. I got to be like the moderator, but also like ask questions too. Okay, thank you. So this is an interesting question from Jackson Kurth Official from the Instagram post. And he said, what age did you build your first gaming PC? And I'll go first. 14.
I'll go.
This should be quick.
I didn't build my first gaming PC until 18.
Wait, what?
Really? Wait, can you explain?
I mean, I played PC games before, but I didn't really get into PC hardware until like the end of high school. Like, because I watched like Austin Evans and stuff, and I watched more of like more general consumer tech. But like every once in a while, Austin would do a PC build, and then Linus's stuff got into my like suggested feed, and then I was just like, okay, this is it.
I want to say like 13 or 14. It was pretty cheap. So.
Really young, probably like 8 or 9 maybe. I remember searching for bins for video cards with 32 megabytes of VRAM. Like deal hunting back then when that was the thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, so pretty young.
So I think Matt and I, we built my first computer together
was our first
in my
build.
basement, which is like tiny, and we recorded it. I just don't know where the heck it went.
That was a long time ago when we were just doing like gaming Let's Plays, and we built his first gaming PC, and it was the first one that I actually built at the same time. So yeah, it's
We
like
were 12 or 13, yeah. Yeah, we did it
great
together.
times. It was a
Toasty
yeah.
bros.
So another interesting question from Instagram. This one pertains to CES. What has been your favorite booth? Anyone want to go?
I'll go.
All right.
My favorite booth so far was probably NVIDIA. I just feel like they had a lot of good demos, and I was super excited to see the new 14-inch Asus Zephyrus G14 that has the 8-core Ryzen CPU and a 2060 and a 14-inch laptop that's like also super thin. So that was my favorite booth.
Well, I'll go. Okay, so this is also tied into a little bit of a story because it just happened this morning. So we were at the Gigabyte booth earlier this morning, and we were actually in the middle of a shoot, and some guy pulled us out because he saw like, I guess, our media tags for CS passes. He's like, hey, are you Mark? And I'm like, do I know you? And we didn't, but he just finessed me into checking out this thing at this company called iFly Tech, and they make what's claimed to be an instant translator that can translate English to any language in under a second. Specifically, they've timed it 0.5 seconds. And I was like, okay, this is absolutely not our niche, but he's finessing us. We'll check it out. And we went ahead and checked out this place at iFly Tech, which was down the hall from Gigabyte. And not only was, they didn't really show off much, but the crazy part was how much press there was. And it was just us. Like, I would start filming a little feature on this cool little translator, and there were just all these cameras taking photos and videos, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know this company, but they're just flooding us with media. So it was just a really interesting experience, but it was so different from the norm of like PC gaming hardware and tech, like what we've been doing so far at CES, that it was like just a nice little like refresher, just something different. And they treated us so well, and in the end gave us actually these translators, which are valued at $450. Which, because if we go to Computex, we could translate English to Cantonese, which would be useful for getting around.
Have you guys
So,
tried it out?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually we cut it on video.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my favorite booth so far.
I'm gonna go with what Matt said and just say NVIDIA. I think it was just so well polished, and like the interactive parts of it were really good. And I think also too, because we've already met some of the people there, it made it a lot easier to like talk to them and to walk around and everything. I don't think they had some pretty cool stuff, just not budget oriented. So nothing that I was super excited about, but it was just very well done.
Yeah. Honestly, Thermaltake really surprised me because I thought we were going to go there and they were gonna do their normal RAM and water cooling and whatnot, but they have way more products that were interesting to us, even some of the budget end stuff. And then we keep talking about their RGB software, which I don't want to sound like a shill, but it was just a big surprise. So I like their booth.
So are we going with NVIDIA on this
I'd say
one?
NVIDIA or Corsairs was really good. Corsair and going through Elgato and all of them, just really cool to see all the companies they've acquired over the past basically 2 years, not even that. Just going through that, but that was a good experience as well. Since we've been getting a lot more into live streaming stuff, Elgato has become a lot more interesting to us, and looking into that, the new capture card they have coming out, it's been really cool. Yeah.
Live streaming stuff.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh, are we ready for another question?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So this one's going to be interesting, I think, for all of us. What do you do with the PCs after recording your videos? So I guess what do we do with them after we build them?
That's easy.
I
Which-
can go.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I either sell the whole thing, which I haven't been doing as much, but I still do it a fair amount, or I tear it down, sell some of the parts, and keep the other ones that I know that I have a good chance of needing in the future.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I only sell mine. I won't break it down. I don't want to waste the time of uninstalling them and trying to sell individual parts. I only sell them completed.
As of right now, it's kind of just been, if we have a use case for it, we'll implement it into something, but we've just been kind of keeping stuff recently and just keeping inventory. Since we have the office now, we have a lot more rooms, so that's kind of what we've been doing.
So we're flying through questions. So here I went to the YouTube community post, and we did get an interesting question from HawkRock24, and he asks, wait, how'd you guys meet? Okay, I'll go first. All right. So I met Ozzy, Matt, and the Toasty Bros. I mean, we just saw each other in YouTube recommendations, but haven't actually officially interacted. But the first collaboration we did was all the way back in the fall of 2016, where we wanted to see who could build the fastest and most value-oriented $250 used gaming PC. And I remember that such a long time ago, but that was our first actual collaboration, at least between those of you. Yes.
The judge? Yeah.
So Brian from Tech Yes City was the judge for that competition, and I remember this, but Nerd on a Budget won because his rig wasn't $250. He went with a $170 rig, and so the value alone, according to Brian's ranking and weight system,
I didn't realize that was an option than spending
Yeah.
less. I thought it was just the most performance you could get for $250.
And knowing Danny, this wasn't intentional. He just didn't want to spend all the money. Brian was like, oh, well, according to my weight system, he wins by value alone, even with subpar performance. And I was really ticked because I got second place with a 970 and 2400. And I'm like, how? Why? I have the fastest gaming PC. What's up with this? So that's how I met you guys. And then Zach eventually came to surface through the algorithm, and he turned out to be a really cool addition to the Tech Fam, which eventually, I mean, he succumbed to the actual. Okay, yeah. Took a while. So that is how we all met. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, but did the battery die? So the question is, what is your favorite budget to build at for a video? That's tough. I would say I just really like 300. I don't know. I feel like I like the challenge of 300 because usually if you have $300, there's only two options, really, the pre-built option or go for an APU. But figuring out a way to not do that and still make it viable is just really exciting.
Mm-hmm. I think I like a little bit higher. Please. No. Yeah, I'm done. I think I like 750 better, just because everyone likes that 300 to 500. I think all of you are gonna say 300 to 500. Yeah. But I like kind of bridging between the budget and towards the high end. I like that little bit of a hybrid zone.
Not all of us have money like you. Yeah, let's say we can agree on a 500.
500 we do regularly. It's pretty easy to do multiple builds. We've done 3 or 4 around that price range. You can go used, you can go new. You can always get value at that price point. So 500 is normally where we aim at, especially streaming stuff at 500.
So I like 500 because it does good in the algorithm, because it has the most search terms besides 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's me.
If it's used, I like to go below 300. just because it's a little bit of a challenge. But just like Zach, I like getting above like the $700 price point for new builds, just because between like 500 and 700, it's just like Ryzen 5, RX 580. There's like, and if you deviate from that, people will yell at you. It's frustrating.
Because you have like 580 and then you have the 1070.
Yeah.
The 2060.
Well, now there's like the 1650 Super, which is like decent value for the money, but
You just deviate and go with an i5 9400F and just trigger everyone.
an i3.
Oh, that's my favorite. Do you have any more questions from there?
Yes. Off the top of your head, what is your favorite PC case to build in?
So the question was, off the top of your head, what is your favorite PC case to build in?
I have a personal preference for NZXT stuff. I like my personal rig is an H500, and I love like the H510, the new refresh I have. So I would say NZXT because they just add a lot of nice touches to their cases, like cable routing and everything. It's just super simple to build in. So I would say that.
I'm with him on that.
We agree.
I think I agree as well. I mean, I really like building inside my 510i, but whenever I see the H440 from a few years ago, that really that was my first super high-end build with the H440, so I wouldn't want to build in it today, but I don't know, it's one of my favorite cases.
I'm still thinking. I don't know.
Okay, so I have a interesting choice. So it's not NZXT, but something from Fantex. So it's either gonna be like the P300 or P400. It's just clean, it's neat. They've done such a good job with streamlining the whole building process for their cases. And in the end, the result's quite beautiful in my opinion. So I just like building in Fantex cases, even though I haven't really done much with them, but I want to more in the future.
So my favorite case to build in recently is probably the Corsair 280X Crystal. That's what my personal rig is in. It's just super easy with the dual chambers, being able to like make everything look super neat in the front and then not have to worry about anything in the back because you just have tons of room. Even the guy from The Verge was able to build a PC in it, so I'm sorry.
I would have to go with NZXT as well. I use the H200, I think, or 210.
mini ITX one?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, H7. There's a 7.
The 200, I think, is
Do you know?
Okay, I know which.
The 200 is like the small.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know which one it looks like. The 700 then.
Yeah, there's 700.
Okay, all right. Then it's the 700. Similar to what you said, like everything is just like laid out really well, and it does have like a lot of like lights and everything that's really like pre-plugged, so you don't really have to do much. You just kind of build in it.
Okay, this is a very interesting question I found in our personal chat room on Twitter. So Danny from Nerd on a Budget asked, if there was to be a tech YouTuber boxing event, similar to KSI versus Logan, which other tech YouTuber would you be matched against for the most exciting fight? So, like, I'll go first. I think it needs to happen, but we want to see the 5'8" Minotaur, or not a Minotaur, because I'm small. We want to see the 5'8" buff chunk versus the tall but still muscular Zax Tector. Yes. He's got the reach, so. I mean, it's gonna be like. Well, it's gonna be like Logan versus KSI. Oh my god. I mean, like
I would still like to watch.
KSI is shorter than Logan Paul with a smaller reach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still like 6'1" or something.
Oh my god. Well, I think I don't know. Maybe we have to do some like UFC maybe, so I can like tackle you.
Yeah, sure.
And somehow have a chance.
Lost the hypothetical battle.
I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know.
We just have to see it in person.
Let's set a date.
We could just do
It's be 4/20/20.
420.
That'll be the date.
2020.
Yes. Any comments on that, or should we move on to another question?
Let's just move on.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Danny. Let me
Good
look.
question, David.
Ooh, so this is a cool one from Chris from Coalition Gaming. What's your favorite non-tech hobby or thing to do? So my favorite hobby to do outside of YouTube and school is bodybuilding. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, especially with the CES videos, since I show more than just the top of my face, you're like, oh shoot, he's gotten buff. And I'm like, I've been at this size because I've been doing it for a while. But bodybuilding is so awesome because I'm such a fan of wanting to be the best version of yourself. and that involves a lot of weightlifting, and you can get like super into it and get into the history of bodybuilding, and it's such an interesting like rabbit hole that you can get into. But I'm fully committed, and that's what I do outside of YouTube and school.
I just want to say we found him eating cookies the other day.
That's how we met him. Was he was eating cookies? Yeah.
Give out brownies. He takes one every time.
No, he doesn't. I would say, so for me, it's cars. I'm 21 and I've had 12 cars. And specifically, all right, so not to shill, but Datsun specifically, it's tattooed on my body forever. So there you go.
Yeah. Mainly my thing is just attending sporting events. Big basketball fan, football fan, mainly college sports, University of
What's your
Kentucky.
favorite team?
University of Kentucky. But yeah, no, I watch a ton of sports stuff, and sometimes I find myself tweeting on the main Twitter when I'm kind of upset about a certain sporting events. But you know, don't worry
We
about
had to have
that.
Zach actually watch that.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Probably fitness as well. I mean, I just got to get my fitness in, but other than that, I don't have time for hobbies, guys. Being a dad.
I would say I don't know where this whole cocaine thing came from. You mentioned it. I didn't say coke. But I would say music. I absolutely love music. So any kind of pop, rap, hip hop. At OztalksHW. I actually do have a rap song on there. Yeah. I should have told you that, but
play that
no,
live.
I really do.
Let's get that
I really
live.
do.
Will we get copyright if we put it in this video?
I'll strike all of you.
That honestly might be worth it.
But yeah, I just like music. I like playing. I like going to concerts, hanging out with friends. It's awesome. And listening.
I'm similar to Ozzy. Probably my favorite hobby outside of YouTube is music production, but I don't really release anything, so there's that.
Do you have a SoundCloud?
No, but actually like a lot of my videos from like 2016 all use music that I produce, so yeah. Like the $100 gaming PC video, that's a song I made.
So this is a question that's to be expected. It's from our Instagram. It comes from Luke.Coomer. What encouraged you all to start YouTube? What tips could you give to a small content creator who's just wanting to get started?
I can start. My only tip is to just start. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have the right camera, or I don't have the products or whatever, but there's gonna be a period where you start where you suck, even if you have the best equipment in the world. So the best advice is to just start with whatever you have.
And I'd say especially if you're going to start YouTube, you got to be in it for the passion. I know a lot of people have come up to me and they're like, yeah, how much money do you make on YouTube? Like, how much do you think I could make and whatever? And I'm like, you can't do YouTube for the money. You have to be in it for the passion, because in a sense, especially with tech, like this is a hobby that could make you a living. Like making tech videos, checking out what's the latest and greatest in PC hardware. So you got to be in it for the passion. You can't be in it for like business reasons unless like, I don't know, you're a part of LG or Samsung PR. But regardless, I mean, YouTube is about you and it's about your passions and the stuff that you like. So that's my advice. You got to be in it for the passion.
I think they hit the nail on the head. Something else I would add is just like YouTube, and I think Twitch to a certain extent now is becoming oversaturated. So just finding a way to differentiate yourself from other people. And it's really hard to give advice on how to do that just because it can look so different. It could be like how you format your videos, it could be the content itself, but just something different that makes you stand out and be a little bit more personable to like your viewers and your audience. I started doing YouTube because I saw that there was a gap in the budget segment and I naturally liked that, so I just started making videos. So.
Everything that these guys have said, I mean, I think we're all gonna, we're gonna say that. Just make sure that you're not doing something that's only the meta. You gotta do something that you're enjoying. I mean, I wanted to benchmark PCs before I had a reason to benchmark PCs. It's just something I like to do, so.
The first part of this question was how did you get started, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna answer that. 2014, Matt and I had like 5 channels before that, and they were gaming channels. We were like into gaming, and it was awful. And then Toasty Bros just like stuck. We uploaded the most random stuff. Like, there's videos of me riding my dirt bike. There's videos of Matt like playing basketball. Yeah. There's the most random stuff. But the biggest thing was just keeping to it. Once we started getting an audience, we just kept going.
Are they still live?
There are some of those that are still live. You go all the way back. There's some like videos where I was like doing like 2K like reviews of like when 2K launched, and I'd like do day one stuff. I would do that for a while. GoPro accessories too. But yeah, that's the main thing. And also just be somewhat consistent if you can. I know like there's a lot of creators who can upload like once or so a month, and even then, if that's somewhat consistent, that'll allow you to build a routine and have fun while doing it. And also don't like the whole meta thing. That's something we're realizing a lot more is there's those videos that will do really well, but now that we've tried to do stuff that's a lot more fun, we've done a lot of fun projects along with it, it's made it a lot more enjoyable. So it's not just a daily grind of doing PC builds all the time. So
The question was, what were some stressful moments from the Tech Avengers competition? I can't answer this because I was the judge. I was Nick Fury, but
Go ahead, Matt.
I procrastinated really hard on that. Like, I did it within, like, I did the mod and finished the video within, like, 48 or 72 hours. So.
And you were still late.
Yeah. Well, that was why.
Yeah, I procrastinated that thing like really badly. I remember in the group chat, people were like posting their mods like weeks in advance. I was like, oh, I gotta get started on that. And I'm just not a mod person, so I tried. Guys, I really tried on that. It's my bad, but it was so bad. So it was fun though. I learned a lot about myself.
I didn't procrastinate too much, but I saved one last step for like the night before it was gonna go live, and it was putting the wood piece that was the Thor logo on the front, and I was just gonna glue it on the front of the case, and I dropped it, and it went on the carpet and just had dog hair all over it. And like, I think when I dropped it, glue hit the case, and I was scraping glue for hours just trying to make it look clean. I had to get my wife to help me. It was brutal.
I would have to say, doing it with 3 people, there were so many differing opinions on how to do it. We like battled each other trying to figure out how to do this. There were so many different things. If you saw the light panel, that's a whole other story. His idea that we didn't even know it was going to work. But it was just like a battling, like of just making sure like, okay, we're going to do this. It's going to work. And it just was a lot.
I think one of the other frustrating parts too is I felt like ours was very up there, but I think we got like 4th place because we were one of the smaller channels at the time. Like we didn't get nearly as many views as these guys did, so it was kind of like a popular vote type deal. So that was a little sucky too.
You know, not to call you out, but I don't think that was true. Didn't JD win?
No.
Oh
no,
Nerd on a budget.
Nerd on a budget one.
With the Hulk PC.
Yeah.
Which
I think I got second. That's why I'm calling you out on it.
Didn't he like?
I had 11,000 subscribers, guys.
But one of the things was he ordered his vinyl too, and that was like against the rule.
Yeah,
Like it was one of those things where like we felt like we did a lot of like hands-on work, and then I think he ordered a Hulk vinyl. No offense, but yeah, that part was a little upsetting.
I'm just saying, it wasn't a popularity contest.
We custom cut our vinyl.
So the question is, do you guys have any troubles with trying to make original content on YouTube and trying to like do the same thing over and over?
Yes, I think there are definitely moments. I think like over winter break, I had a lot of wonderful ideas that I'll write down. I always keep a running list, but there are definitely moments where it's like I just don't know what to make or what to upload, and so I'll default to like a gaming PC build or something. I think it comes and goes, at least for me, but the best way for me to find inspiration is just like watch other people, these guys, and then also like non-PC like videos as well, like non-tech videos help a lot.
So for me, I would say, crap, I forgot the question. It was, do you have trouble
Making original content.
Okay, yeah. For me, I have a lot of ideas that I think would do well, but a lot of times they'll take like a crazy amount of time to do. So it's kind of like, do I put all this time into the video that might not do very well when I could put half the amount of time in a PC build guide that I know is going to do really well? So I feel like that's my biggest struggle.
So part of the question was like, do you find it repetitive? I think.
Or like try to avoid repetitive content.
Yeah. So well, Okay, well, I don't have an answer for that. I was gonna answer a different question.
So like for us, we used to love doing I used to do a ton of custom builds, and like Matt would help out, and I had to like stop doing them because I'd put like days into them and they get like a couple thousand views. So then it's like we have to default to gaming PCs, which is kind of sucky.
Yeah, we know that that's our bread and butter is the gaming PC stuff. Like that's literally what works, and we've managed to do it consistently without any real drop off. We've actually grown more over time from it, but there is some repetitive nature to it. But like adding Zach and like adding different people just to add more of like we think with the multiple people, there's like it's like someone mentioned to us when we were at a booth, they were like they really liked our channel because we had multiple opinions, multiple personalities in the video, and it's more like a back and forth thing, and that's why the videos seem more entertaining every time. You just don't know what's really going to happen, so that's kind of what we're trying to build up over time. So that's kind of add a different dynamic that it's more than just a PC build.
Tag team it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I just don't really find any of it repetitive. I mean, maybe just that's me at this point, but like, I mean, I could literally build PCs and then benchmark them like over and over again. It's just what I enjoy doing, so I just don't find it. I could benchmark
I have a
all day.
serious
I just
question. How many RX 580s have you all used in builds? I just want to know if we hold the record or
yeah,
not.
no, yeah, you might hold the record.
I think we've used like between 10 and 30 probably.
I was gonna guess 8.
Yeah, we
yeah.
use a lot.
So actually, I want to elaborate on that on a response. So the thing with all of us here is that we all have our individual niches in the budget PC gaming realm, and even like sub niches on that part. So as far as original content with our channel, I want to say we can't stray too far off, because with YouTube you want to find your niche, but even in our tech genre, you got to find your sub niche. So like Zach's been known for working with Dell Optiplexes. Ozzy's been known for SLIing really low end graphics cards. And then me and the Toasty Bros have been known for like trying to make the best budget builds. And Matt's known for making like budget mini ITX and small form factor PCs. So if we stray too far out of our sub niches, which in itself are really small, it's a little bit discouraging when those like actually original idea videos don't get all the views that we want. So I feel like, at least for me, if there's an interesting idea that I think could somewhat fit in my sub niche, but also be kind of a first or like an original idea, I will try it, because I do have a few. But ultimately, the videos that you guys subscribe for, like PC builds, setups, those are what rack in the views, because those are the videos you ultimately want to watch. So going with original content is like a double-edged sword. It's something new and different, but at the same time, there's risk in trying it out, because it may not turn out the way you want, even though it may be fun on your end making. So the question was, if YouTube were to end, what would be your dream job? And I'll go first. So in university right now, I'm studying to become a computer engineer. And again, since I'm a huge hardware nerd, I've actually dived a little bit into Verilog and HDL. So one of my dreams was to become a CPU architect, because I would love to make the fastest, most efficient processor, because I'm all about optimization, like all the way from my schedule to bodybuilding to workflow at work and school. I want to just optimize the crap out of things. So I would love to be a part of like a team to increase the IPC of a processor or something like that through coding like a virtual processor, seeing how well it does, and then actually making the real thing with a die and seeing how well it performs. So that's what I would do if there were no YouTube.
Nice. So I think me and Mark are pretty similar in terms of like what we're doing and like our position in life. I'm also in school for computer engineering, but I think I would want to do something more on like the marketing and business side of things. Maybe marketing for a computer technology company. I don't know exactly what I would do, but definitely working with people. Like I absolutely love working with people. And one of the downsides of YouTube, at least if you're doing it by yourself, is you're usually like by yourself for like hours on end. And even though I'm introverted, like I don't like that. So definitely working with people would be.
So I've told multiple people this before, but I'm pretty much in my dream job. If it wasn't for YouTube, like this would be 100% it. I work IT for a 100-person company. So usually in the IT space, you're really specialized, cybersecurity, network infrastructure, things like that. But when you work for a small company, you do everything. So some of my day is acting like a genius when I plug in someone's power cable to the monitor, and then 10 minutes later, I'm configuring servers behind the scenes. So I'm in my dream job right now.
I'm kind of torn between. I actually graduated for computer engineering in college, and I'm kind of torn between some type of computer engineering job that's hands-on. I'm not a programmer or anything like that, or doing something with cars. Maybe both, if I'm lucky.
Well, like for me, like my main work right now, once I graduate, is going to be literally all YouTube based. Like I help manage other YouTube creators and I run a YouTube channel. But like if YouTube were to disappear, I'd probably be in the homeless. Yeah, exactly. But I'd probably lean more towards like what you were saying, Ozzy, like the marketing side of things with like computer stuff, because I just love interacting with creators. And even if there wasn't a YouTube, there's always going to be different platforms or creators going to be around. And just kind of like knowing that you have that experience, it really allows you to connect with them and know, like, I feel like that's something that lacks in the marketing departments out there. Is people who don't really understand what creating is. There's some people who just think that we'll throw this stuff your way and they don't have no real direction. I feel like a lot of companies will really benefit from people who have creating experience in their marketing departments, and that's something I would look into probably.
If YouTube failed, I'd probably want to even if YouTube doesn't fail, this might be an option, but I'd like to be a product manager for like a computer hardware company, probably like Cases, I'd say, just because I think that's really cool to be able to like take an idea and take it through the entire process of making it a real product. And like I'm studying marketing, and that's like technically a marketing job. Marketing's super broad, so yeah, that's my answer.
So that is the end to this video, but before I finish, I want to mention two things. Number one, for those of you who have made it this far into the Q&A video, I want you guys to give a congratulations to Tech by Matt, because at this conference, he just passed 100,000 subscribers. So he's finally in the 6-digit club, and I believe the last one left is you in this room. Mm-hmm. But you'll get there eventually. Thanks. But are there any last words that you want to quickly mention to any of these guys watching this video? Like a shout out or whatever.
I think I speak for all of us when I just say like thanks to the guys like behind the camera too for work and everything.
Thanks, guys.
So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and big thanks to all the people that watch the videos and leave really nice comments, and the ones who leave mean comments. Well, I can't say anything to you guys.
Yeah, that's about it. Zach, you still have a job, so you're good.
He's not fired.
I'll add to mine. Thanks to the viewers who have been watching our CES videos, because all of us being budget oriented, we understand that a lot of people that are in the market for $300 used builds don't care about these $400 power supplies. So thank you for those of you that are watching these videos.
All right, well, that is it for this Q&A video. Thank you so much for watching, and that is the this is the Tech Fam signing out.